Hello folks, we have been following a webinar series where we are trying to launch and secure file upload web app in AWS. In today's video, we are going to see how to go ahead and deploy the actual components in AWS. Once again, I have written a GitHub article which has walked us through all the steps that are required to deploy this web app in AWS. Let us go ahead and see what are the things that we need to do. Here, as you can see here, the steps are written here, and I'll go ahead and put the link in the description so that you can also follow along with me. So the first step is to create an S3 bucket where we will put in our index file or the static website where we will be hosting the application itself. So let us go ahead and create our bucket now, and I'm going to call my bucket as our secure private bucket. Let us see if this name is available. Yep, this name is available. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on create. And remember, we are not creating any public bucket. We are creating only a private bucket. As of now, there are no objects. There is one more step that is necessary to be done here under permissions. If you go under course configuration, this is really important that you need to do this, because if you don't do this, your browser is not going to allow you to make request to upload or write any files from another domain name. For example, your S3 domain name will be different, your lambda domain name will be different, your API gateway domain name will be different. So if you don't do this, your browser is not going to allow the right operations through a static website. So now our S3 bucket is done. The next step is going ahead and creating an IAM role that we will be using in our lambda function. So let us go ahead and create our IAM role, and this will be used by my lambda function. So choose lambda here, go ahead and click on create. So we need a function which is going to be acquiring lambda access as well as S3 access. So I'm just going to choose lambda execute, and if you can see here, it allows me to get and put objects in S3. So this is the permissions I'm going to choose, and I'm going to call this as S3 presign-url role. I'm just going to copy that, click on create role. Now my role has been created. Let us go ahead and create my lambda function now. Go to lambda, click on create, and I'm just going to call this as lambda. And we have written our function in Python 2.7, and we are going to choose that here. And the necessary code for this application is all uploaded in my GitHub article. You can see here, I've already kept it open. So let us go ahead and just copy this so that we can put it into our lambda function now. So before doing that, we need to choose the role. Let us go ahead and attach the role that we just now created. So here is the role, S3 presign-url role. Click on create function, and let us go ahead and add our function code also here. Let us remove the default code and just paste the existing code that we copied from the GitHub. And I'm not going to change any of those default variables. Go ahead and click on save. Now our function has been created, and as you can see here, our function is saved, and then the permissions are there for S3 and CloudWatch logs. Now we are done with the lambda. The next thing is we are going to front end our lambda with an API gateway. So let us go ahead and create that. So remember, we are all doing everything in the same region. So if you're going to follow me, just make sure that you are creating all the resources in the same region. We are going to create a new API. So I'm going to call this as S3 presign-url API. I'm just going to copy that, put the description, click on create API. Now the method that we want to do that here is a post method. So let us go ahead and create a method. So this is a method that is going to accept of the request from your browser and contact the lambda function. So click on post. We are good here, and then we are going to integrate our API gateway with our lambda function. So choose the first option, that is lambda function, and we are going to make sure our proxy integration is enabled, and we are going to choose the lambda function here. So we have done that, and then click on save now. So it's asking me whether I want to save the configurations, whether I'm happy with all the settings. Yes, okay. And the next step that we need to do here is we are going to enable CORS in my API gateway also. Under actions, you will find enable CORS, and I'm going to say all the default settings is fine. Usually what will happen is, instead of a star setting for allowed origins, we will be using a domain name, particularly with your website or your client's domain name. So for this demo, let us go ahead with default settings. And make sure that you're deploying your app. Whenever you're making any changes in your API gateway, you should go ahead and deploy your API also. Otherwise, the settings will not take into effect. So I'm just going to call my API gateway stage as production, and you can give any name here what you want. So go ahead and do that. Now this is the important part. We would need this URL so that we can configure our web page with this URL. The web page or the application code is in this index.html. I have already opened it here, and we need to update the URL into this page. I'll show you. It's just two places where you need to update that URL. I have copied this code into my notepad editor. So once again, I'm going to just pick this file again. I just happened to click on that instead. Let me just copy that. So here, when you copy paste the code here, this is one of the lines where we need to edit it. So I'm just going to replace this line with the code that we created just now. There is a URL from the API gateway that is in line 197, and I'm just going to change it in line 165 as well. Just going to make sure I'm just selecting the whole piece of it, and then I'm going to paste this one. Okay, I'm going to save this. Now what we are going to do is we are going to upload this index.html into our S3 bucket next. So that's what we are going to do now. Let's head back to our S3 bucket, go to overview, click on upload. I'm just going to select the file here. Once you have selected the index file, click on upload. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give public read permissions only for this file. Remember, the bucket is not public, only this index file is going to be public. So let us go ahead and make this one file public, and Amazon wants the confirmation that whether it is want to be public. Yes, let us go ahead and do that. Now once you click on that object, you will get the URL for the object. I'm just going to copy that and put it into another browser window here. So let us go ahead and open the app here, and now you see here the app is loaded. This is my location of that application, and my app is loaded. So let us go ahead and see whether we can upload an object to our bucket. So our bucket name is being prompted here, our secure private bucket. If you're loading this app in your location or in your account, it might not be prompting it there. So I would like to upload an object. So instead of read, I'm going to choose write, and I'm going to choose a file here. And I'm going to upload a simple file, s3.png. Let me go ahead and open that, and let us go ahead and submit it. Now once we have a successful upload, we will be getting the object key here. So if we want to go ahead and see what is this object, whether we have successfully uploaded, let us go ahead and put the object name here and change the method to read, and then let us go ahead and request for the URL. So you see here we are able to upload successfully to a bucket and also retrieve that object from that bucket. And you will notice that this URL is going to expire in 10 seconds. Say for example, I made this request about 10 seconds back, and I'm going to retrieve this URL. I'm just going to open this URL to another page, and if it has been already 10 seconds, it would have expired, and we will be getting a message saying request has been expired. So you can see here. So that is how you upload an object into a bucket and also retrieve an object from the bucket which is not in public state. So if you have any problems or any questions on how we set it up into your account so that your clients can upload or receive files from their partners without making the bucket private, go ahead and put them in the comment section. I'll be happy to help them with you. Thanks for watching, happy learning, and see you in the next video.